Cool. What are you doing?
Balancing the light. So when I go to do the video, I can just go click.
Oh.
Sorry. Everybody, you realize when you white balance, you have to white balance to the lights you're using. Too many times people white balance, they white balance to the wrong stuff. So sorry, not important. All right. So what are we doing? Okay. So what are we doing now? What is this?
Are we recording?
Yeah, we've been recording this whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Was it what are we recording?
So I have some Doctor Who stuff I want to talk about.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So because everybody knows that I'm the Dr. Tennant. David Tennant's my doctor.
Right.
I'm a friend of mine from high school. We've been going back and forth talking about Doctor Who.
Very cool.
And from what I understand, his doctor is the Tom Baker's doctor.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes it. He was able to watch it like he was watching it like in 8th grade and freshman year of high school is what it kind of sounds like. But in our hometown in Chicago, the public access is Channel 11. We would apparently they would have to buy from the BBC.
That makes sense.
You know, so and from what I also understand is the reason why it stopped on Channel 11 is because the guy that was in charge of the programming didn't think it was worth it.
Really?
Because it was one of the most expensive things that they were purchasing because it's community funded.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So the point of that is that he's only been able to see like all the colored ones, everything that was done in color. So my question is, how can we find the Tom Baker, all the doctors before Tom Baker?
Okay, so they're actually right now, the BBC is currently, they've been remastering a bunch of the old stuff. There's a small swath that got lost between we have a lot of the First Doctor stuff. And then between the First Doctor and the Second Doctor, there are there's like overlaps a little. Mm-hmm. There's a big chunk that's missing because of a big fire that happened back in the day. Back in the day, like back in the BBC.
Okay, that makes sense that you're telling me that because all of a sudden it just clicked in my head that they found the footage for when we saw
the puppet Toymaker. Yeah.
Okay.
The Toymaker.
Things like that.
Right. The Toymaker. So that they found that stuff, and that's why they were doing like an animated thing, and they were able to recover some audio, which is why they've been doing animated restorations. Mm-hmm. Well, the animation's not that super great, but either way, whatever. So you can find, and then after him, then there is from the latter part of the Second Doctor on.
Okay,
most of that is available, and they've been remastering a lot of those things coming out in seasons. I think they're like stalled at the moment though. Like everyone's like, when are they going to do the rest of whatever? And it just hasn't come out yet, but eventually they will.
Okay. Also, if I know he'll end up watching eventually. If I got the history part wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm cool with that. No. Totally cool with that.
Right on.
So we have a launch date of April, correct, for the new season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm super excited for it.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on doing maybe a live watch together with your audience for the first episode?
I'm down. You gotta be careful with some of that stuff, but yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually have a Patreon we could pull that off on but I think I'm not talking about charging anybody. I just meant someplace off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Where, because YouTube, the minute you try to do the YouTube will be like, no, that's it. You're trying to make money off copyrighted stuff. I'm not trying to make a dime. I just want to enjoy some things
together. Yeah, because I would love to be able to talk to people in real time since I'm one of the newer fans, and I would love. I always go to my friend for some like, who's your favorite doctor? Why do you like them? You know, so it's kind of been cool too because I haven't talked to him for years. Even like I said, high school and everything. Mm-hmm. So, I would love to be able to do that. Also, where do you think so I've watched the Chris Eccleston.
Yeah.
We watched that one, and I thought he should have kept going. To be honest,
a lot of people did. He was too,
and that's fair.
He was the gravitas they needed to relaunch the thing, and then that was all he needed to be. He didn't need to be more than that, and I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Would you recommend watching Doctor Who? Like you said, there was a movie.
Oh my gosh! So there's actually been 2 movies.
Okay.
The first movie was back in the day. The BBC wanted to try to really make a big thing out of this stuff, and so there's a movie with a doctor who's not in canon, a different actor. In fact, it was the actor who plays Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars when he was a younger man. When he played a doctor, and it was a Dalek adventure and everything. Like, it was a whole thing. And so and a lot of people enjoy that movie, even though that was never connected canonically to anything else. Mm-hmm. But the movie that is canon is in the 80s. They approached, it was funny, Disney back then, to do, they wanted to bring in North America. They wanted that the American feel. They wanted a whole different style. And it was so the Master was an American actor. The companion was going to be an American actress.
It sounds so weird.
And that was Paul McGann, they brought in the guy who played the Seventh Doctor. Oh my God, his name literally escapes my head. I just had it in my head too. But he did the opening as a cameo.
Okay. And
then he steps out into Harlem, whatever, gets shot by some street toughs and gets taken to the hospital. And while he's in, he dies. Well, while he's in the hospital, in the morgue, his body regenerates and he wakes up as Paul McGann out of a morgue.
Drawer.
Yeah, but no, actually it was like a morgue vault. It was very weird. Yeah, it was the freezer vault where they put him in because they had to use a big door and the door, because his initial whatever energy blew off the door handle and he walks out all
cold.
What's going on? I don't understand. He's like completely confused, and the whole thing is him trying to remember who he is. And he wears some old dated clothing they get from like a secondhand store, which sort of establishes his look. And his companion, I don't remember her name exactly. I have the movie actually. It's fine. It's on our Plex drive.
We should watch it.
It's super campy.
I want to know if anybody's watched that and your opinions. Don't tell me what like all that happens, but totally tell me if like in your is it a fun movie?
It is a fun movie.
Campy movie.
It got so many people. So it didn't go very well because one, it wasn't done great. We will appreciate it today. It is in canon. It is canonical. So so they do include it. It's funny. So during the opening credits, you see a plan. It's like they do this attempt at like a surreal retelling of the past. Mm-hmm. And so it was like on the planet Skaro, the Doctor delivered blah blah blah. He delivered the Master there because he had to stand trial, which is against the Daleks. And you hear him like exterminate. It's like this old laugh from an old actor who was back in the day. And he was apparently some kind of weird energy thing that found a way to infect a human being as a blob.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it wasn't a regeneration for the Master. It was the Master's energy. What do you call it when a ghost takes over your body? Possessing. It was the Master's energy possessing a person. And so this
weird.
Yeah, and then this guy walks and he was totally campy. He had the
I can't wait to see this.
Oh, it's great.
I can't wait to so that is going to be date night tonight. No. I'll make some gourmet popcorn. We have gourmet popcorn.
We do have
boyfriend.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the Tom Baker as the Doctor? Because again, my friend that's his doctor, and I'm really interested to see what your opinion is because I'll start watching it if I can find it.
He's the first Doctor that I remember, and by that I mean when I was younger. If you remember, I've talked about it when it comes to like Godzilla. There would be Saturday morning cartoons would roll into afternoon wrestling, and after afternoon wrestling, they would do Godzilla, some kung fu movies, and then sometimes they would also put in Doctor Who. No clue what it was. I just remember seeing him with the colorful scarf. He had the hat. It was him and Elizabeth Sladen who plays one of his very classic companions. And so I just remember some of their adventures, and it was from those times. So he's the first I remember. A lot of people consider Tom Baker to be canonically one of the more impactful Doctors. I think at the time he was the longest, and I could be wrong.
I think he is longest.
He was the longest running because people were like, no, he only went for 4 seasons like everybody else. Seasons back then had like 60 episodes. I'm exaggerating, but
they're way longer than we have now.
A series back then of Doctor Who was much longer than it is now.
I believe that.
Now, what they would do is they would break up these 5 adventures. Or this story, or is Legolopolis this these 6 adventures are the whatever of whatever. Like they would give them, but they were all part of a season.
Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
like full adventures.
They brought them up into stories of story chunks. Right. And then at the end of those 4 episodes, that adventure was done. Then it'd roll into another adventure. That's the only way it was anthologized. It wasn't like Star Trek where every episode was a new adventure.
Right.
They did it in these runs, so to speak, of 4 or 5 episodes.
I like that.
It's kind of fun. I wouldn't mind watching a few of them. They didn't have the storytelling styling of today. It's a much older storytelling style. But you can see the threads of who he was. He's always been.
Oh,
you know, and so it'd be worth watching 1 or 2 just to kind of get a feel for him.
Yeah, I want to be able. We'll find 1 or 2.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
1 or 2 for. I don't know where we're gonna find it because I was just having a conversation with him. Like, how do we find these? So.
No, right.
But that was it. I wanted to talk about Doctor Who and because I think it's because I'm really excited about.
I am too.
About what's coming up.
I know a lot of people are giving it crap, but I'm not.
I guess because we haven't had a good. I guess I'm excited because I wasn't a big fan of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. So to me, same. I think that's why I'm really excited, and maybe that's why people are giving it a lot of crap too. Though is because
true story.
They didn't care for hers.
No,
I just think she just got a bum.
She did get a bum deal. No, she really did. So you consider David Tennant your doctor?
Yeah.
I loved David Tennant. I consider him one of my doctors, but if I had to put a doctor who's my doctor, I would have to say Matt Smith. Something about Matt Smith's attitude, temperament, personality really spoke to me. And what's funny is I gave him the hardest time at first because I was like, he's going to do.
It was me and Peter Capaldi.
I don't know if he's going to be able to carry David Tennant style gravitas and Mavitas. And and there he is. He did a good job. And then you get that nice moment where he dresses down the Atraxi, and you're like, oh yeah, you're good. And he did. He was playful. It was fun. I loved the 50th anniversary when David Tennant and Matt Smith were together because he did a really great job being the contrast of the doctor who regrets and the doctor who forgets.
Yes.
And you're like, because the forgetting, I believe, was much more a factor of maturity. I believe he was much more like, look, me living in sorrow served no purpose and didn't help anybody. And so he was like, Matt, so he was like, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on.
Right.
And that's why when Clara's like, he talks about it all the time. You're like, really? Who is this guy? He never talked about the Time War all the time, you know? And so it was really nice to see that he grows. Seeing that growth in him, I think, it's been good.
Wait, that needs to be a River song.
It does. Oh, absolutely. No, for sure. No, that's
me too.
This was fun. Thank you for making me do this. I know that we're working on the set and stuff, and I appreciate you being like, you want to talk some Doctor Who? Put your shirt on. Let's go. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So that's great. All right, man. Well, why don't you end it then?
No.
No?
No, just because I just force him to go in front of the camera when I want to talk. So this is really all him, though.
Right on, guys. Well, hey, I appreciate each and every one of you. Comment below. Tell us about your favorite Doctor Who and stuff that you like and enjoy. I know that I love talking Doctor Who all the time. So never forget.
Everyone loves to know it all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.